Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about why you should not buy the RTX 50 series cards, and the reason is simple, and that's just mainly because, well, they're really not that big of an improvement over the 40 series, like at all. Unless you of course spring for the 5090, which I don't recommend anybody do, especially if you already have the 4080 and the 4090. What the fuck is the point if you want to spring for the 5090? Because the 5090 is stupidly expensive right now and it basically doesn't exist. Because basically everybody that's bought it is a bot or a scalper, because barely anybody that has actually wanted the card actually got the card. And it's just incredibly sad to see this shit. Not only because of how shitty the 50 series cards are, but just generally because of how little there are, like, in existence. Like, it is ridiculous just how much, like, demand there is for it with so little supply. Like, it is insane. But besides that, again, the main reason to just not get a 50 series card is just because they don't have that big of a performance increase over the 40 series. Like, it is ridiculous the percentage increases you get from the 50 series, because the 5080 and the 5070 Ti, for example, which are supposed to be like much better than even like the 4080 and the 4090, most of the time they have like a 4% increase in terms of performance in like most games. There's some games where they might have like a 10% increase, but that is very rare. And just generally, unless you really care about AI, which I do not, like, at all, I could not care less about like the AI and the frame generation bullshit, then don't get it. Because again, if you already have the 4080 and the 4090, those can run basically every game under the sun, especially if you have a really good CPU paired with that. So like, why spring for the 50 series? I'm sorry, but even if you are like a big consumer, oh, I need to get everything from NVIDIA, which I fucking hate the people that do that. Oh, I feel they need to upgrade every single fucking year, which I feel they need to upgrade pretty often, I'll admit, but I don't feel that inclined to upgrade like every single year when a new card comes out. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. A big example is, like, I got the 3060 Ti in this machine, like, what, fucking 4 or 5 years back? Not 5 years, but probably around 4 years ago. And then about like 3 years later, I just sprung for a 4070 Ti machine, and that runs a lot better. So yeah, as I said, that's just an example of how much I think you should wait in between getting new cards that are like actually a big performance increase. Because yeah, the RTX 40 series is a way better performance increase than the 50 series. Like, it is insane how much better performance you get compared to the 30 series with the 40 series compared to the 50 series compared to the 40. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, again, I think the only reason why you should get the 50 series is if you have a really old NVIDIA card and you want to get a big performance increase, like a really, really big performance increase. For example, like a really old 30 series card, like a 20 series card, that can maybe make sense. But even at that point, just get a 40 series card. Like, those run perfectly fine. And I've heard like so many issues with the 5090, especially with like burnt cables and all that. Like, just get the fucking 40 series. What the hell is the issue with that? I don't understand. Again, people that feel the need to fucking upgrade their NVIDIA card like so goddamn often, like, chill the hell out. Stop spending so much money. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't like tell people how to spend their money because it's their fucking money, but like, chill the hell out. Like, I'm getting like really flustered and really upset just because, again, it doesn't make sense. You are really not getting that big of a performance increase. I keep fumbling that sentence, but like, it's just because it's true. Like, you really don't need a 50 series card. Even if you want to play games at 8K, it still can't play games at 8K. And I don't understand the people that want to play games at 8K, to be completely honest, because it's really arbitrary. You can't really tell in like most games that it's running at 8K. And how big of a performance increase it is, or not increase, I mean decrease it is compared to like even 4K, which is already a really big performance decrease over 1440p. Like, it is not worth it. Like, I don't understand 8K gaming like at all. It's not ready whatsoever because well, there's even like the 5090 can't run games that well at 8K, even with a really, really good CPU. Like, it still just can't run games that well at 8K because it's such a high resolution that it just, it's hard to run shit at. Like, it is ridiculous, like, how bad the performance is, even on, like, the best NVIDIA GPU with an 8K display, because, again, it's so many pixels that it just can't run it that well. Which is why I've always kind of thought this in the back of my mind, but I do think like 1440p is a good sweet spot. I know I was like a 1080p warrior for a while, but once I got a 1440p monitor, I got it, and I got the hype around it. So honestly, if you want to play games on like the 5090 and the 4090, you can just get like a 1440p monitor if you really care about performance. If you want better looking, stuff and all that, you want the just better looking stuff, then just get 4K. Like, if you really care about that, if you don't really care about performance all that much, you just get 4K. Like, it's really not that big of a deal if you don't get 8K. It's really not that big of an improvement in most games from what I've seen. Now, when it comes to content creation and all that, I can get getting an 8K display. Like, that makes sense. But when it comes to gaming, again, it's not that big of an improvement. So, like, why get it? It's like completely useless in my eyes. Like, again, if you have a 4090 or 4080 or even a 5090 or 5080, just stick with a fucking 1440p or 4K monitor. You do not need an 8K whatsoever. I'm sorry, but you really don't. But yeah, besides that, that is basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.